Hi, welcome back. Last time we talked, we were at the point where we were getting ready to strip all the wiring out of this car and go to the next step. I've done that. We've taken the harness out of the car. If you come over here, we'll show you here that everything's stripped out. You recall our bulkhead back there, we had that unplugged, but we had everything up in here and it was a big bundle of mess. Okay, we've removed everything here. We've cleaned this up. We've rerouted the fan relay here. We're going to take our trigger wire back into the car because the customer wants this one to be done manually with a switch, which is what this is for. We've cleaned this whole area up here. You'll notice there's no more mess there any longer. One of the things that we talked about was the customer wanted to route the wiring down low and bring it here across the bottom. We put the car up in the air and took a look, and because of the headers that are on this car, it's a little bit of an issue from heat. We're going to route this new harness in the original location, which is right along this channel here, around the shock tower here. Then we'll go down to the alternator and up through to the headlights. What we're going to do now that we've gone this far, we're going to go in the car and we're going to take the dash harness out of this car because that's the other side of the bulkhead over there that you see. Come on, let's go take a walk. You can see since the last time we talked, I've removed all the switches. I've dropped the steering column some. We've removed the dash cluster here so we can get at the harness. And you'll see here's our old dash harness. Okay, that routes across the top, down, over to the other side. We've also removed all that mess that was underneath here, if you'll recall. It was all wadded up. We've straightened that all out and figured out what was what, kept what we've needed to keep, and we've removed everything else. Okay, we're going to get up underneath here and get this dash harness out. I've removed everything else and unhooked everything, so it's just a matter of getting up underneath here, pulling this out of the firewall. You have to be careful doing this because you'll get a lot of connectors and terminals that will catch on things. So basically you want to pull it out one piece at a time. Basically what I like to do is remove everything from this side of the dash, pull it over the steering column saddle. We've already got everything disconnected down here. Now what we'll do is we'll pull everything out from the top over here. Okay, that's our removed dash harness. One of the things that will be required with the new Classic Update Kit is, because we're kind of stretched for real estate here, is we're going to have to open up that hole in the firewall where the bulkhead connector goes through. You'll see that in a minute. We finished opening up the hole in this car. We're fortunate in the respect that this one we didn't have to do much. We had to open the bottom hole up, the bottom edge of the hole, probably about 1/4 of an inch, and the right hand side about 1/4 of an inch is all we had to do. The real estate on this is extremely tight. Because of where this bulkhead connector lays, we were extremely limited. We could not use the normal size bulkhead that we use on our other Classic Update kits, and we had to modify a bulkhead to go in here. We're going to show you what we got when we're done here. I'm going to get up underneath the dash here and get this installed, and then we'll show you what we did. We were talking earlier about the real estate situation here on this car. The hole and the location of the bulkhead connector is extremely tight. Out underneath the hood of the car, we have about no room to play with whatsoever as far as enlarging this and making a larger bulkhead for this. So what we've done is we're using a modified bulkhead from a truck harness, and what we've done is we've cut these holes, notched them to where we can get this up in there, and we're going to attach this into the firewall using a pair of flat washers and some hardware. Okay, we're going to put this bulkhead right in the hole here, and we've opened this hole up so that this bulkhead connector fits in here real nice now. All we have to do now is secure it into the firewall so we won't have a problem. This particular harness is going to have a remote bulkhead and a remote fuse box. They won't be one and the same like our other Classic Updates are. Okay, we finished putting our bulkhead in. Now again, this is from an R&D standpoint. When the customer gets his harness, that bulkhead will already have all the wires plugged into it. You won't have to do that. We're at the stage right now where we're test fitting things. But that is the bulkhead that will be in the production kit. Come on, we'll go underneath the hood and I'll show you how we're going to hook up the engine and front light now. Okay, you recall our old bulkhead was in the same location back here, and the old bulkhead was using the small GM twin lock terminals, which didn't carry much amperage. This is using the 56 series male and females, which will carry much more amperage, be a much sturdier, much better item to use. The bulkhead assembly does have a gasket on the back of it, so this one here, when we put this in, you'll see back here our original production holes, which you can't use any longer. We had to make 2 new holes, which will also be included in the template in the kit when you do open that hole up for the new bulkhead. The thing that's nice, the bulkhead that we're using does have a gasket on it, and it covers up the original holes and seals them from any weather or any issues. Alright, so this is where our new bulkhead is. Now we're going to install the engine and front light harness. They're right over here. Okay, our engine and front light harness are over here. I've just hung these up just for ease of being able to grab a hold of them here. You'll notice it looks like one harness, but it is actually 2 separate harnesses. This is our engine harness, and this will have all of our tack and coil and temperature and oil pressure and main power feeds in it. This is our forward lamp harness over here. They actually snap together, and they have a bolt in the middle of them that will actually secure this into the firewall, into that bulkhead connector that we've already installed in the car. Come on over, let's do that. Okay, we've assembled our engine and front light connector here. We're going to put this into our bulkhead connector in the firewall. The only tool that you'll need to do this is you'll need a 3/8 socket and a nut driver is really all you need. All right. This simply installs onto the bulkhead connector at the firewall. Simply push it into place. Once you have it locked in, you just begin drawing your bolt down in the center, and that'll pull your connector into the firewall. Okay. That's all there is to it. You have a nice tight fit here at the firewall. We're going to separate our engine wires and route them over to the other side, because we're going to drag them to the other side of the car to go down to the starter and the coil and the tack for the HEI. We're going to separate them over to here just to get them out of our way. Over here is our front light wiring, and as we talked earlier, originally we were going to try and run these down low, but we feel there's going to be an issue with the heat from the headers. So what we're going to do, we're going to put this in some tubing, and we're going to run it right in this channel right here using some stock clips. And it'll run right in here and then through the core support and be hidden up under the core support. Okay, what we're using is a product called Tech Flex. It's kind of a springy material. It's a nylon. Works real well. Makes a real nice clean job. It's already split for you. You just cut it to length, get it wrapped around where you want to wrap it around, and that'll be our finished product here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to install this right here along the stock location in the inner fender. We just want to make sure we got enough length here. And we're perfect. We're good to go.